Kevin here. I know a lot of you recognize Kevin, especially Grandma, because he was here on the 4th of July. And he's been hanging out with us a lot, so Kevin's a good guy. And I don't want to say too much about him, so give him something to talk about. But this guy right here has been advocating for foster children for decades, ever since he was one. So I'm happy that he's here. He's a young guy, so you know I'm happy about it, right? So help me welcome Kevin Bristow.
Thank you, everybody, and especially Rob and Candace for hosting us today. Although this is a very friendly crowd, I'm still a little nervous, so bear with me. I'll try not to read a speech as much as just talk to you, but I hope that I can tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm running for the Ohlone College Board of Trustees. So I got involved in politics when I was about 15 years old, and that was about a year and a half after I entered foster care. And the way that I got involved was through a group called California Youth Connection. And what they do is they're a legislative advocacy group for foster youth, run by foster youth. So every year we develop a legislative agenda and we take that to the state capitol. And over the years I got to meet with a lot of assemblymen and senators and really high up individuals. And what I learned is that if you work together and you're passionate about what you're doing, you can get a lot accomplished. Most recently this year we've passed AB 12, which is a bill that allows children to stay in foster care up until the age of 21. Now, people always ask, why are you running for the college board? And the bottom line is because I know that I wouldn't be standing here where I am today if it wasn't for education, and especially for a community college. That's where I got my start. Now, when I emancipated at the age of 18, there weren't a whole lot of options for me. And statistically speaking, instead of being here with a master's degree, I should be dead, in jail, or homeless, because that's where most foster youth end up. So, I went to Valle College in Pleasant Hill, transferred to Chico State. After I graduated there, I came back to the Bay Area and I got a job with the Independent Living Skills Program as an education specialist, helping other foster youth achieve their educational goals. After I did that for about 5 years, I got invited to apply for the job that I currently have as coordinator for the Renaissance Scholars Program at Cal State East Bay. And what I do there, again, helps support former foster youth who actually attend the university. So I've been there for about 6 years, and I've always wanted to run for office. People have always told me I should run for office, but the truth is I never found myself as passionate about anything to actually make me do it. Now, working for a university, I see what the budget cuts are doing. I deal with it every day. I work with students on a daily basis. I'm also a staff member, a union member, so I also understand what's going on with our faculty and staff. The budget cuts are causing, furloughs and layoffs, reduced class offerings, student loan debt that's recently passed $1 trillion. The list goes on and on. So instead of being a cog in the machine that I'm constantly raging against, I decided to kind of get outside that machine and be an actual mechanic, and maybe I can run it a little smoother and make it a little more efficient and effective. I don't know how many of you are up on the issues that are facing Ohlone, but I have 3 main areas that I'd like to focus on. First is going to be our campus infrastructure and our frontage property. So we passed the Measure G bond, which is going to help out a lot with renovating our classrooms and our science laboratories. It's going to increase our information technology usage. It's going to upgrade us for fire safety and earthquakes, and it's going to improve disabled access for students. Now, our frontage property is going to be probably the most important thing that we do over the next 2 years. We're going to be fielding a lot of different proposals for how to develop that. Now, from my background, I'm not a developer by trade, but I do have a set of criteria that I want to set forth to make sure that we're following. Number one, we're going to need to maximize our revenues, not just in the short term, but in the long term. This is something that's going to be there for decades to come, and if we go for the quick fad or the big fast buck, it's not going to benefit anybody in the long run. Number two, it needs to be something that is going to enhance the student experience. We don't need another Starbucks for them to buy coffee at. We need something that's going to be inclusive, something that's going to create a real community and campus environment. So that's number two. Number three, we need to make sure that the project is something that's going to preserve the historic and unique nature of the Mission San Jose neighborhood. I know that the folks who live there are very concerned about it, and I want to be able to listen with an open heart and mind to all of those concerns, as well as all of you. Now, my other main focus is going to be accreditation. As some of you may be aware, I'm in a pretty tight race with a former incumbent who almost cost the college their accreditation back in 2008. The board's made significant progress since then by getting rid of that guy, and and resolving a lot of the internal issues that were going on. So when our next accreditation evaluation comes up, I want to make sure that we're on target for that. And number 3, innovation and community connection. Now, you all know that we live on the cusp of Silicon Valley, and we've been at the forefront of technological innovation for the past 30 years or so. I definitely want to continue that. I want to make sure that we're offering the class options that are preparing our students for the 21st century jobs that they're going to be getting ready for. And things like our solar panel installations and our entire gorgeous Newark campus are testaments to what we can do when we really put our minds to it. So, that being said, I also want to make sure that we're inclusive, and that means not just Fremont, but Newark and the slice of Union City that we represent. And in closing, we all understand that higher education is the backbone of our American economy, and the students of the day will make up the workforce of tomorrow. And if we're going to save our economy, we need to make a strong investment in their education. So I'm asking for your support, your help. If you can make phone calls, knock on doors, donate $5, $10, we'll get there together. So I appreciate you coming out, taking the time to listen to me, and I'll see the stage for Richard now.
So once again for Kevin, he's running for Ohlone trustee. So here we go.